All right. How is everybody today? Welcome to Restaurant Punk.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Hi,
Welcome
Peter.
back. Oh,
I think this is the
you're
first
here?
time with the three of us.
I know.
It's
I
Christ.
think.
This is
I'm
not an
stoked.
orgy now, right?
This is actually, I think it may be considered, no, it's a threesome.
It could be like a Milano cookie.
Those are good. I can
Yeah.
go for some right now. All right. So I've been thinking in my head for something we could talk about.
Greece
I'm really excited for Greece,
or Noelle.
but it kind of has to do with it.
Nice.
We'll call it Eastern European. So you have a restaurant. You don't have staffing because the area doesn't supply enough or because everybody wants to do this, that, and the other thing. And you need staffing. And people start coming into you that have no clue what to do in a restaurant. They just need a job. What do you do in that? Do you sacrifice the integrity or the customer care of a restaurant just to get hands in there for a server, for somebody that's never served? Just in our instance, J1 students that come down
J1s.
every year. If you don't have anybody working and you need servers, do you hire J1 students from Russia, Bulgaria, Romania? And some of them, don't get me wrong, have great work ethic. But
All of them do.
You what?
All of them do.
Oh, well, very true. But what do you do? Like, how does that work? How does that work? You've been to some of the local places that are really big that need like 40, 50 people to work. And they're just staffed like that. Even fine dining where you're paying $60, $70, $100 per person to go in and dine there.
If they can talk, if they can speak English, hire them as a server.
Really?
Yeah, I go for it right away. If their English is rough, start them in the kitchen as a dishwasher or prep, or on the floor as a busser.
Well, are they going to say, yeah, I'll hop in the kitchen? Are they just going to do that?
Yeah, why not? They want a job.
Well, what are you going to do with the front of the house then? How are you going to fill that up?
Well, you hire. What do you? Are we just talking the entire?
Well, look, there's people that come in that they're just broken English. I know they tried. They're just not coming across.
You start them as
I get it.
Start them as a busser. Then you start them as a busser.
Yeah, but you still need servers. Where are they coming from?
Well, when a man loves a woman, I'm just saying. I don't know what else.
Well,
where else they
remember
come
what
from.
happened. Remember during COVID, COVID comes around. We stayed open. A lot of the restaurants stayed open. We had to accommodate to everybody that lives down here. And a lot of people came from the big cities to come down here. And that was the year.
But are we just talking about J1 people, or are we talking about literally anyone? Because let's say we get the J1s, and yeah, like he's saying, put them in a busser position, put them in a kitchen position, put them somewhere where you can make them comfortable to get the job done. But if you're just talking about any Joe Schmo, like off the street, yeah, put the more English-speaking people on the front of the house, and then put the others, organize it in a way. But if you're just talking...
To counter that, but I'm agreeing with you. Any Joe Schmo, what do they look like?
Well, yeah, that's a good thing.
You know what I'm
because
saying?
aesthetically looking at somebody too it's a big part. It's a big part because you're not going to hire just anybody to be the face of your restaurant, hostessing or taking care of tables.
Well, then
and
that
fine
comes
dining.
down to, I feel like the management, like making sure that they have a clear description when you come in. If you have hair longer than your shoulders, pull it back. If you you can't just wear anything off the street into work. Here's your uniform. Like you can dictate how they show up and present themselves to work to an extent.
But see, that's where I was going to go too. All right. Not everybody looks like, I will not look the same as George coming into a restaurant in the same uniform. You will not look the same as somebody else coming in.
I'm fat, you're not, so just want to throw that out there.
But you still look good.
Don't tell me twice.
Listen, when it comes down to it, not everybody presents the same way wearing the same clothing too. How do you go about that without discriminating against somebody else?
How they hold themselves, how they present themselves.
Well, do you
You know what I'm saying? What if you have a whole bunch of tattoos? You have a tattoo sleeve on, right?
Okay.
All right. Say you have a tattoo sleeve on and you're clean cut and you have, I don't know, a nose piercing, but you talk well and you're personable. Don't you hire them?
Yeah, 100%.
Of course, definitely.
I feel like the way of the world is so different. Like there's people delivering babies with a sleeve of tattoos and nose piercings. You know what I mean? So like the whole concept of you can't serve tables because you have tattoos or like it's a bad representative. Like no, people are bringing in new life into this world with tattoos. So I feel like that is way more acceptable than it used to be. That's why I'm just trying to hone in on like, are we going for dialect and the English language? Are we going for aesthetics? Are we going for like just the broad?
Well,
Going as a whole, I guess, right?
as a whole, yeah, it's a book. It's not, you're talking about different chapters of a book. I mean, you have to put all these things together to, for it to come across like aesthetically, verbally, and just, common sense sometimes plays a huge role into it because we've had people that work for us that we're just having a pleasant conversation, but the way they come across, it's not the...
I just feel like it comes down to the standard of what you want. Like when you hire someone, does your company have a standard? The way that people look, the way that people dress, the way that people come in, the times that they come in, the language that they speak, how well they're able to speak that language, things along those lines, you know?
I mean, yes. I mean, if we're at that, we're talking about the language they speak and whatnot. But to go back to J1s, if a J1 can speak English and write English in our restaurants, most of our 80% of restaurants have hand check notebooks. So if they can write something, and they can speak, give them an opportunity to serve. I mean, just to have that opportunity and to show growth. And if they have, say you have somebody that starts as a busser and they see that person like serving already, wouldn't they want to think to themselves, let me learn English, let me learn how to write so I can start serving?
Well, at the same, I totally agree. And
Sorry.
yeah,
Okay.
Sorry,
Noelle.
Just take a moment
We're not
for these
allowed to do
guys.
that, yeah.
We can just take a
The
moment.
producer said we can't hold hands. All right. But at the same time, when I worked in Philly at one restaurant that I won't say its name, but at the moment it's not around anymore, but it was one of the most fine dining establishments. They were very discriminatory to certain people, and they wouldn't hire certain people because they didn't think that would come across the right way in their establishment.
Lot of places like that. Like, and again, coming from Texas, there's a lot of places that I hate to say it, you're prominently going to see more of the white people in the front and the darker skinned people in the back. Like, and they're more than qualified to be in the front, but they'll keep them as, someone who's either a food runner and or on the expo, even though they have better personal skills than half the people on the floor.
Agreed, 100%. And I've seen a lot of talent go to waste because of how management is running that location, and it holds them back so much.
Which comes to the precedence of the standards that you set as a business
And
owner.
you said that this restaurant's no longer around. Well, there you go.
Well, I'm going to say,
Grow up, man.
it held its position in the state of Pennsylvania for almost 30 years as one of the finest restaurants. And
McDonald's?
yes,
Okay.
100%.
But the world changes and
The
things
world
become
does change,
less, I pray that this world goes into a better direction with discrimination. And I think that that's where we're leading. So a lot of those places are going to fail if they keep their old mentalities that way. But as far as just like the general topic goes, I feel like personally, there's going to be times in a restaurant to where you're going to just have to take someone in with a heartbeat. You're going to have to, if you need to fill that spot. Like,
even if it sacrifices the front, like, wouldn't you rather say, like, and I've been in this position before, all right, I'm short staffed right now. Do I fill in the gap with a, grade C server to take care of the tables, which it'll reflect? Or do I say, you know what, cut that section off for tonight, keep my powerhouse running the rest of the restaurant.
Yeah.
Do you take that hit
I didn't know that offer
financially?
was on the table.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Start with that, Pete. Shit.
well, I'm sorry. I gotta throw this in the middle.
Okay,
But
fine.
what do? Do you close off a section? Do you take that monetary hit at the restaurant to keep a certain standard? Does it depend on, am I fine dining or is it a corner spot? Like, what do you do?
I mean, that just happened to me over the summer because I was down a couple servers. So I had 2 servers and I had 10 tables inside and 7 outside. So what I did is I put 1 server outside, I put 1 server inside, and I cut down tables. And people are like, I could sit there. I'm like, well, guess what? You can wait because that's all I have staff-wise.
So you take the hit.
I take
You'd
the hit.
rather give the customers the
Best experience.
the best experience you can and say, you
Yeah.
know, the money. I'll find the person when I find it and we'll open it back up.
Yeah, that's what you do.
right.
Money's toilet paper.
Money's
goes.
toilet. It comes and goes.
Yeah.
But sometimes you got to pay the bills. Sometimes you can't. You don't have the luxury.
I flush the bills down the toilet. So. Yeah, take that.
We rip them up on our counters at our house. No, I see what you're saying though, is closing down that section. I think also it could come into play. Like if you have, I think we were talking about like having, like a lion and a sheep or a lion and a hyena in one of our previous conversations is if you have 1 lion and 1 hyena, sometimes obviously like the lion's going to be like, okay, this. But if you give 1 lion a whole pack of hyenas, then yeah, you're screwed. I feel like you could get away with having someone strong and someone a little bit weaker, because even if that weak person has, let's say 3 or 4 tables, that strong person can still go up and save a little face. They can still go up and help out.
All right.
Instead of losing out on too much, you can have that one, like where, I mean, at Vintage, we all help each other. You know, we all pull the weight. There's obviously going to be some weak links every now and again, but the strong people will still go and check on those other tables.
But how many
to save
restaurants
face.
have you been at that the team works together so well?
All of the Cara Restaurant Group.
Well,
restaurants.
minus Cara Restaurant Group. No, I'm just kidding. But a lot of places I've worked at, and mainly I've worked back of the house, but it doesn't, it's always a,
yeah, I'd say it's like a 2 out of 5.
Yeah.
2 out of 5. But yeah, no, that, I mean, solid topic. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
I think that no matter what, it's a gamble.
Yeah.
Nice
know.
one, Pete. That was a great topic.
Well, I'm
No
sorry.
matter what,
You
it's
know,
gamble.
it just, somebody had to talk about it at some point.
Your fly's
So-
down, by the way.
Damn it, I looked. Looked.
They're so
Anyway.
corny. Get me out of here.
All right.
Deuces.
All right, guys. Thank you.